Hey, my name is Julia Lohmann. I am an artist, designer and professor at Aalto University in Finland and one of the founders of the Department of Seaweed.
Hello, I'm Kayoung and I'm also based in Germany, and my practice is actually like in social design and community design, and I worked 3 years ago with Julia, and this chance was really good for me to work with Julia together once more with the Department of Seaweed.
So here at the Sea Art Festival, Kayoung and I collaborated to do a Department of Seaweed studio here. So we're sharing the process of how to work with seaweed, and we're connecting to the local seaweed cultures because this is such a hot spot with thousands of years of seaweed histories. So behind us you can see the artwork that we came up with for the Sea Art Festival. So you can see some objects we made, some oloids and some other standing objects from seaweed and rattan. And then we have a studio set up there because throughout the exhibition we will continue making more pieces.
Yes, and we were doing kind of a workshop also with visitors and neighborhoods here from the local people. During like preparing and setting up these installations, I was also here for 10 days and interviewing with local people and neighborhoods and in the seaweed sellers and farmers, and it was really nice to gathering these stories, and that project is that this kind of project researching part is also ongoing during the exhibition.
So this seaweed installation is located right next to the ancestor shrine, to the shrine for grandmas and grandpas. And we kind of build a kind of shrine as well, because our cultures are so entangled with the environments we live in that we think seaweed in this place is also an ancestor for people.
Maybe I can explain. I was working here from every day 9 to 5 at least, or 7 or 8 p.m. and the grandmas and grandpas like coming here also for praying here in front of the shrine, and like you can also see their kind of like bottles, and they come always and pray for 3 minutes and 4 minutes and asking me what I'm doing here with seaweed, especially with the seaweed, because for them seaweed is kind of like the most popular thing what they have here, and every day they eat seaweed, and this for them is kind of like a lifestyle. And for them it's really interesting, I think, to doing kind of the art piece and craft work with the seaweed. Like every day came new people and said to me like, hey, I've heard that you're doing something like art with seaweed, and they suggest me to go here to look at you and watch you. It was really nice, and they wanted to give me kind of like aprons or some other tools and said something that I can do with seaweed, other things like recipes and so on. And this kind of connection was really nice for me to have with the local people.
Yeah, and in general seaweed is such an amazing material, because it never quite leaves the sea. So even if you have seaweed quite far away from the sea, it is reminiscent of being at the ocean. The smell infuses the room. The minute you kind of put it in the water, it becomes slimy. It really changes its texture, and it's really evocative in that it brings people into their bodies. When you have a piece of seaweed on the table, nobody tells you some intellectual stories. Everyone shares childhood memories or memories from great food. And you have this really visceral connection to the material that pulls our thoughts back into the ocean where it came from. So it's a really great medium to discuss things like ocean health and ocean literacy and how we want to be on this planet as a less damaging species. I think this whole idea of how we relate to the environments around us, how we can become this nurturing species rather than exploiting our environments, is really prevalent. And when you're working with natural materials, I think it's always that you're asking not what that material can do for you, but what you can do for that material in its ecosystem. And that you actually think of the agency of that matter that you work with. And that's in a way why I'm in love with seaweed, because it has such an agency that is able to pull out the excess the excess fertilizer that come to the ocean through our rivers, for example, and heal the ocean from some of our imbalances. So I think we should identify these organisms that are able to undo some of our damage and try and, in a way, grow more of them in a way that is beneficial to the planet, but also gives us some local resources.
Maybe I can say something that you can do practically. You can come to the workshop and really like touch this material and relate it to these materials. It feels like really different if you work with them and experience this.
Yeah. So if you happen to be in Korea, come and visit us. We're going to be here in person for next couple of weeks, and also there is our workshop, so please do join. Or if you're not in Korea, then you can follow us on this Instagram, Department of Seaweed, and find out more about where we pop up next.
여기 부산은 저희 작품뿐만 아니라 굉장히 재밌고 흥미로운 작업 많으니까 역시 혹시 일광이랑 부산에 있으시면은 멀지 않거든요. 여기 와서 꼭 한번 작품 보시고 시간 되시면 워크숍 참여해 주시면 감사하겠습니다. 많이 오세요.